Hello and welcome to the Poultry Network Podcast. I'm Tom Woolman.
And I'm Tom Willings.
I'm very pleased that this week we're joined by Bex Tonks of St Ewe Free Range Eggs. Bex is CEO, but also very much hands-on farmer. So we wanted to speak to you, Bex, because it's quite an exciting time for you and for your business at the moment. Just run through some of the things that have been happening recently. You've hot off the press. You've just won Packer of the Year at the Egg and Poultry Awards. That's a fantastic achievement.
Congratulations!
Yeah,
thank you.
And you were also nominated for an award by the Grocer recently. Is that right?
Yes. I know. Just to be nominated was pretty awesome, actually. So great experience to be there, and our team just to rub shoulders with other amazing businesses as well, and people, and yeah, it's really good from lots of different aspects.
Yeah. Bex, you win so many awards, you must forget which ceremony you're turning up to each week.
No, we do love an awards because I think it's really important to really highlight how amazing our team are, our farmers are, and and an award ceremony is just perfect to be able to give that kudos, because it's so important.
It's interesting. A bigger boardroom, though.
Pardon?
You're going to need a bigger boardroom. All these awards. You can't get in the door for another golden egg somewhere.
And maybe another Welsh dresser.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, and I also noticed that recently you were highlighted by the Sunday Times as one of the top 100 fastest growing companies in the country, which is quite an accolade. And it was interesting seeing your name there next to some of the other businesses doing very, very different things. What was the reaction to that?
That was totally insane. I can't even believe it. We got to number 53 as well.
Did you see who else was in there? So was it Hawkstone? Where were you against Clarkson? Were you ahead or behind Clarkson?
No, slightly behind. Annoyingly.
That's not too bad, because he's making a few quid, isn't he?
Well, he is, but he also writes for the Sunday Times, so I think it's a little bit of a
inside job.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours with Hawkstone.
I take that as a win.
I don't know. You have to prove it with the numbers. So he's done really well. So hats off to him. But I think absolutely awesome. We got asked to submit some figures, and we ended up in 53rd place, which I'm just, I think we were the only commodity kind of product in there as well, and I think that just goes to show that how powerful an egg actually is. It's clean food and it's on the up. So love it.
And speaking of the up, you are expanding, you are recruiting, you're looking for a new agriculture director at the moment, is that right?
A new agriculture. We don't have an agricultural director.
Well, that's my point. It's a new position that hasn't existed before.
We've had our amazing technical director has been carrying that can for a little while, and he's got his job is growing massively. So it's time we look for an agricultural director. I'm hoping that there might be someone out there that's super keen to join us and help us with our expansion. So
well,
good luck with the search.
Thank you. Thank you.
Spread the net far and wide. If I stood on my little soapbox, I came from cut flowers before I joined Noble, and indebted to the team that were there at that time, who had the foresight to say, immediate egg experience not necessary. And
absolutely, it's having that kind of global approach, that overview of what's happening in the world, and I just think it's hopefully a wonderful opportunity for someone to come and join our quite dynamic business.
And a lovely part of the world as well. My father lived for a period down at Goren Haven, so I used to come down and jump in.
That's literally just down the road. So
well, I know, and I wasn't working in poultry then. I was just a student, but it's a fantastic part of the world.
Yes, no, it is beautiful when it's not driving rain or mizzle that just seems to work its way through you. So
tell me it's not like that now. I'm in Wiltshire at the minute, but I'm going to get in the car in a moment and head down in the southwest. Hopefully it's all right.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, and we've got a very hot week ahead of us, which obviously we love, but the hens don't love quite so much. So it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You can. There we go.
Can't win them all. Bex, I wanted to ask you about B Corp, because you're the first to do many things. You're a pioneer in so many ways, but B Corp is something I personally don't know a great deal about. I know we're now perhaps a few months out of date since the news broke, but what can you tell us about it? What what does it involve?
It's I guess we've been kind of looking at down the B Corp road for the last 3 years, and as the business has kind of grown, I think back in 2020 2021 we were Martin joined us in that period, and I was very much still running the business on gut feel. I'm really bad at numbers, so Martin is complete opposite and totally good at numbers, so that's great. But it really kind of we sat down together and really kind of bashed out our values as a business, and we just kept it very simple, and actually looking at B Corp and what that meant for the entirety of the business, how you operate, how you think, it really focuses the mind on your people, on farming practices, on business practices overall, and what can you do, what can you give, and it just it fitted us quite well. So we started our application, and then they kind of moved the goalposts a little bit. So we started the application again, and it's been a really interesting journey. And now we've very much got to the now we've gained our B Corp status. The challenge and real ambition is the bar has now been set quite high, and it helps our team be able to make it as you're making decisions on our business values, but also against the kind of B Corp platform as to, are we doing the right thing? How could we do this better? It just is a challenge. It challenges you all the time, and actually it's good fun. So it makes you think about doing things differently, I'd say, underlying.
And then, do you think there's be opportunities for other agricultural businesses then to follow suit? I mean,
definitely,
yeah. But have you had to radically change any other stuff that's going on? I mean, I'm not exactly sure what would be involved in terms of B Corp. I'd be thinking about stuff like feed sourcing and compliance. Have you had to do things differently, or is it more about evidencing what you're already doing and what you're doing well?
It's a balance of all of that, but also moving ahead as we're kind of growing up and putting our big girl pants on, is thinking about your policies and the kind of I'm trying to think of the right word. I can't think of the right word, but the governance of running your business, I suppose, and it's kind of, it really. It's helped me understand that, because I've never run a big business before. So we're just kind of learning as we go, and having that as a bit of a steer is very useful, actually. So yeah.
Brilliant. Fantastic. I was going to ask a bit about the brand, and you've had a kind of an explosion of listings, and of course your Sunday Times accolade, your 53rd place in the fastest growing 100 is part of that. But it's also giving you an enormous degree of reach and visibility. And I guess the value in brands in our category. I know there are other businesses out there with really strong brands that have had great longevity, but it feels like there's room for more. And even beyond egg, I just sort of get your reflections on just how important are brands to our overall market growth. It feels like we really need some of that just at the moment.
I think, well, for us, I reflecting back to when we started St. Ewe Eggs, it was, I guess we wanted to, the reasons for starting St. Ewe were pretty basic nuts and bolts that we needed to make a living out of the farm, and how could we do that and have recognition for the food that we're producing. So I guess I came up with wanting to use a blue box to emulate the sea. We had sand, we had pebbles. We didn't really have anything about eggs on the actual box because, well, it was an egg box. Do we need to do that? So I took some chickens down to the beach to try and get pictures of footprints in the sand, which was a total disaster. And I did it in July. I mean, oh my God, we must have looked totally stupid down at the beach. But never mind. Anyway, I went to Asda, I went to Sainsbury's with this box, and they said, yeah, we really like it. So, and my brother-in-law drew our St. Ewe logo. And the font has changed a bit today, but we've still got our St. Ewe Spire church on the skyline from the farm here with an egg around it, and that's really where our kind of brand started. And I think from there, I've realised that it's really important to elevate your story through your brand. This is the only bit you can talk to your consumers, which is part and parcel of the selling that into a shelf on the supermarket. So you've really got to really optimize that opportunity. Obviously, now we've got more social media and so on. We were just, when we were starting out, Twitter was just kicking off, and I couldn't quite work out how on earth I was meant to make that into, visibly a branded, I couldn't see how all that worked. So I focused on the egg box until our marketing manager, Emma Deacon, at the time came in and actually explained to me how it all works. I thought, oh, okay, I'm glad I got an expert. But I think branding is really important. It's part of the company story, the company DNA, and the company values. And so you need something bright and bold to really shout those out.
It's interesting, certainly from my perspective in the meat sector, because the meat sector is still almost exclusively own label when it's on the shelf. There are very few brands out there. There's a few out there that are able to cut through, like traditional Norfolk poultry and Gressingham, etc.
The pork bacon pack, isn't there?
But you can see that what's happened in the egg sector, I guess, over the last 10 years. And I'd also say the same about liquid milk. There's a far more variety and interesting branding when it comes to liquid milk than there was, and that's helped continue those sales. And I wonder, at some point, I think in the meat sector, someone will come up with a brand, and it will be able to cut through. But it's interesting at the moment that it just hasn't quite materialised.
I think the challenge around that side of the market is the smaller abattoir. We started packing our own eggs on our farm. If I had an opportunity to start a small abattoir to be able to kind of process my own meats, that's a whole nother ball game, isn't it? So and the same goes for milk. Smaller farming outlets or co-ops can get involved into pasteurizing. They can buy their pasteurizers and do that on farm. You can't do that so easily with meat. So I can see why that hasn't happened so fast, but it will. I'm absolutely certain it will, because we need some of this amazing good quality meat in our lives.
Well, you do, and all you need is 99 people saying that it can't happen, and one person that goes, I think I'll give that a shot, and
Yes,
they'll find a way, won't they? Yeah. So what's next for St. Ewe then? What's next?
Well, we're currently we're working on our extension and expansion plans. So we've got hopefully here next week if we've got planning for our extension, and we're also investing in a pasteurizer as well. We used to have pasteurize on the farm here, but that's all got a bit old and rusty. So it was time to switch it off and actually invest in a new piece of kit. So we've got quite a hefty investment plan ahead, which will see us into the future for a few years to come, hopefully.
Bex, sort of rumour abound that you're having a slight change in direction. Are you going to be more involved in that sort of pasteurising side of things, or doing more? I know you do some work with the NFU as well. What's your kind of immediate working life look like?
I'm still very much involved in the business, and I probably. I think I end up spending too much time in the business and not enough time at home with my family. So I'm doing a bit more. I've got my darling dad is suffering a bit with vascular dementia. So we are just, I'm here to help supporting mum a bit as well, and just being a bit more present at home. So which is great, because it means I've got lots more time to come up and scheme and strategize and all those lovely things that I like doing. So just thinking of our next innovations, our next brands, and our value products that are going to be hitting the customers hopefully for next year. So lots to do.
I was going to say that's something we've talked about on the podcast before, haven't we? And about the opportunities really for increasing egg consumption is really by tapping into that value-added market, and I think you put it quite well, Tom. Is trying to sneak eggs into meals in other ways where people aren't expecting them.
I want another full episode on that. Honestly, we've got to get back to that. In fact, I can talk about that every week. But Bex, I know, well, certainly from Tom and I, very obviously, but anybody listening to this and the entire industry at large would send you and your family all love and best wishes for the family element of your changes. And I think, if you've been as a business as creative under your watch as you have in recent times, then goodness knows what it will be when you've got a little bit more time. If you have a little bit more time to think of the bright new ideas that are coming down the track.
Because you need time and space, don't you, to have those next big ideas. You need to create the space for yourself, and quite often when you are in a business and you are just dealing with the day to day, it's hard then sometimes to start looking forward and thinking big.
It is. It's interesting because I think I've never run a big business before, so I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. But I think at the end of the day, it's kind of knowing where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are more so, having the right people in the right places. And I just think we have grown very quickly over the last few years, but we're not kind of an overnight success, because we're into our 19th year of packing eggs. But the new packing centre really has given us a huge opportunity to grow, and we've seized that. And I guess this year we're kind of fine tuning what we're doing and really trying to be as an efficient and smooth running, focusing on growing our team, and investing internally in that as well. And before we kind of leap into our next year of growth next year. So so lots happening, but this is definitely a year of fine tuning, I think. So
brilliant. Well, let's just say again, thank you ever so much, Bex, for coming on and chatting to us, and huge congratulations on all your recent awards and nominations.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing what's next for St. Ewe.
Oh, thank you so much. And
it sounds as though there should be a party in a minute. I don't know if it's 20 or 21 coming up, but it sounds like there should be a milestone and a party. Look forward to the invitation.
No, we have our summer party it's going to be September, and I really hope the weather's going to hold out. So, we love a party. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.